Hello everyone, my name is Luke Elijah. With me is glass artist all the way from Australia, Miss Jane Cowie. Hello Jane, thank you so much for coming onto my talk show. I just had a fascinating educational glass blowing and making class together with her, right? So you are the official glass blower, the only glass blower and artist here in all of Singapore, and you lived here for 16 years. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself and how you landed in our shores and got into doing what you do.
Well, I started as a ceramic artist and a painter, and after doing that for a while I went to art school, and at art school I found glass. Glass was just starting in Sydney College of the Arts. It was quite some time ago now, but I just fell in love with the material, and so I travelled to Europe and started blowing glass in Europe for the first time, and then I was just hooked. So I've wanted to be a glass blower ever since then, and I have been. I've been blowing glass since I was in my late 30s, so nearly 30 years now. I've been blowing nearly 30 years. And yeah, so I was blowing glass in Europe, went back to Australia, went to the Jam Factory, had my own studio, was working in the industry in South Australia, the crafts industry. But I wanted something more. I wanted to not learn just about England and Europe, which is where my heritage is. But I was in Australia, I come from Australia. But I wanted to learn about the neighbours, and Asia is actually really close to Australia, and I didn't know much about Asia. So my drive to come to this part of the world was to learn about my neighbourhood in the Southeast Asian region. And Singapore seemed to be a good place to come to, and it has been a good place to come to, because I've had some amazing opportunities here, making glass for large architectural installations rather than just smaller pieces or one-off artworks. I can do large installations, which has been great.
You know, before I met you, Jane, I actually seen some of your public art installations, and I was like, wow, it's so beautiful, I wonder who the artist is. And lo and behold, I got a chance to meet you by serendipitous chance. Shout out to Dex, if you're watching. Thank you, Dex, for linking us together. You know, like my favorites, your work at the fish, the beautiful swirling sea of fish at the Ocean Financial Center, as well as the one with the flowers blooming in the Harbourfront Center.
That's right.
Beautiful, stunning, and you know her work hangs in hotels and art galleries, and she's done so many art exhibitions already. You're very prolific, you're very established, you know. You know, tell the audience what is it like doing your kind of work and being so dedicated. Look at the amount of equipment you have, furnaces everywhere, really expensive equipment. You're the only one in Singapore that has this facilities here that you can actually conduct classes and do this kind of work. Jane, you're the only independent glass artist here in Singapore where you have facilities and furnaces enough to conduct classes where you can teach people, young kids and adults like me, to make stuff like this, right? Even in the first class, right? Amazing. I had so much fun. I mean, I was sweating bucket loads, but it was like a sauna. But I actually miss the heat now. I enjoy it. It's very comforting. And you mentioned that when you have the heat, you just love it, right?
Yeah.
And I was fascinated by how much patience and repetition and dedication. It's kind of like meditation, because it's so repetitive to go through the process of blowing the glass and making sure it's balanced and straight and putting in out the furnace. Right, run us through the process, of this creation, of creating all this.
Yeah, I suppose I might be the only person with such passion for glass in Singapore. I've dedicated my life pretty much to it, and I've done, like I said, big installations as well as teach to do these smaller pieces. I've amassed the studio and all of my equipment over the years. In Australia, there was a bigger community, so you'd work together and you'd be able to help each other, but here I'm pretty much flying solo most of the time. But it makes it exciting, like a new frontier. So when I teach people to blow glass like this, we have a reheating chamber, which is about 1,000 degrees Celsius, so it's very hot, and we have the tools and equipment. It's all quite primitive, really, but they were blowing glass in Egyptian times and in Roman times, when it was likewise very primitive.
Yeah.
So for me, it's quite romantic to work with such an amazing material in such
it's
a
beautiful, the
primitive
colors,
space,
and I was mesmerized just looking at the glass and even the air bubbles and how abstract. And you never know what you're going to get because as the glass is forming and molding. And what I noticed about your entire process is running through it is that it really takes a sense of dedication and finesse, and yet you know, it's an art form that's very transcendent, almost, right? It's a process that it wasn't as difficult as I thought, but it definitely required a lot of patience. It really cultivated. It forced me to be very present and patient with the process.
It is like a dance, and there's a lot of repetitiveness that you have to do. It's a bit like calligraphy. I liken it to calligraphy. You have one piece of paper and ink in your brush. You get one chance to get it right, and if you don't get it right, you throw the paper away and you start it again. So it's a bit like that with glass. You have to do it again and again to be almost with the glass, as one with the glass. And it is like a dance. You have to move with it. You have to see how it moves. You've got to predict where it's going to go. And you've got to feel it. There's a sense. You asked one time, how do I know when to take it out of the reheating chamber? I'm like, you just feel it. You don't actually...
Use your intuition. You just sense into it, right?
And intuition comes through practice and experience. So sometimes people ask me, how long did it take to make this vase? And I would say 5 years. It's not just 5 years to make one piece.
Yeah.
5 years to collect the
dedication
knowledge.
and skills and the knowledge and experience
So
to
that you
get
know
there.
how to
Got
make
you.
that
That's a really good answer and
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
Jane, where can the audience go to if they want to attend one of your glass bead making classes or one of these classes where they can go home with one of these, either a vase or a cup? Where can you go to find out more about you and your artwork as well?
Yeah, well, I've got a website which is called Art Glass Solutions. You'll see some of my artworks there as well as the educational classes I teach. But you can come here to do the hot glass, which is the bead making and the glass blowing. But I can also go to you if you want to do some kiln forming workshops. I've worked with kids as well as team building for larger groups. So I can come to you rather than you come to my little studio because it's quite small.
It's not small at all, it's huge. You have a front yard, a backyard. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Just being modest.
But it's very beautiful, I think, and it's full of stuff. And I feel very much at home with all my equipment and my tools around me. And when I first got the equipment going again, I felt whole again. It's like it's part of me. So I think it's that passion that I bring to my practice of teaching people and also to making artworks.
Right, thank you so much for teaching me again and for this interview session. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and we'll definitely see some of your public art displayed in hotels, lobbies, in office towers, and much more, right? So if you want to attend one of the classes, trust me, it's not as difficult as it seems. It does take dedication and a bit of patience, but it's very meditative.
And
it's fun. She's a good teacher, she really is, She was very patient with me and ran through the whole process, and I really enjoyed it. I'll definitely do it again for sure. Right, so do click on the link below just to sign up or to find out more. Right, thank you guys for watching this video. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more similar videos.
Thank you.